If people aren't familiar with the Imperfects, you have done the same with prominent Australians exposing their own vulnerabilities and I guess showing everyone that, you know, no matter who you are, those issues can be the same. Why is that so important to have that conversation ongoing in this country, Hugh?
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely be talking about this at the Interred Summit coming up next week because I think it's a really important thing to discuss. But I think everyone can think about someone in their life that they love, someone they care about who is struggling with something, where, you know, mental health problems are just everywhere at the moment, the way the world is. And I think the more we talk about them, I think our aim always with the Imperfects is to share stories, have people share vulnerably a story from their life. They'll have someone at home listening going, oh gosh, that's me. And because I've heard that story, I just feel so much more less alone. Because I think that can be one of the things, you know, I experienced horrific burnout last year myself, which is ironic that I'm talking about this, you know, at the conference. But and I think when you're going through something, you do feel really, really alone. And so when you hear someone talk about something that you're going through, instantly you feel less alone. And I think that loneliness is one of the can really compound the problem for people. So yeah, it's a long answer to your question, but I think sharing people's stories is really important because it helps build a community.
Well, I was just going to say then, Hugh, hearing you speak like that, it's entirely unsurprising that your podcast, The Imperfects, and the Resilience Project is as big as it is.
Yeah, I mean, so last week we left the studio here at the podcast, and I went downstairs, and there was a guy who'd pulled up in a car out the front. He was a tradie, and he stopped me to say that he'd listened to an episode we did with a lady called Dr. Lucy Hone who talked about losing her daughter, and he came up to me and he said, with tears in his eyes, he said, "Thank you so much for the episode you did with Dr. Lucy Hone." He said, "I lost my son 6 weeks ago." And he said, this tears in his eyes, and he said, "You have no idea how much I needed to hear that episode." And it's funny when you do these episodes, you don't really know who's listening and the impact it's having. But when people come up to you and share stories like that, I mean, that really rattled me for quite some time. But it did remind me of why this stuff is important, because people are going through some really full-on stuff. And the more we can share it, I think the stronger we are as a community.
Hugh, it is such an amazing, amazing podcast. I listen to it religiously. I absolutely love it. And I love the male friendship you have with your team, of course, with your brother. But it just is such a great role model for so many people out there. Thank you for everything that you do. And I can't wait to see you carpool with Harry. Just looking forward to that moment.
Guys, I'll keep pushing for it. Thanks, Eddie. Thanks, David.
Thanks, Hugh.